I actually think they're not as strong as they could be relative to what you just said, relative to the fact that rates are coming down, even though the Fed is saying, well, we want to wait for inflation to be even more low than it is now. The reality is they have started cutting rates, and the markets expected them to, so they rallied into the expectation. They rallied on the cut, and I think they're going to continue to rally. And let's not forget, there's still $7 trillion worth of quantitative easing debt on the books of the Fed. So there's an awful lot of cushion there, and there's an awful lot of cash on the side still. So from the standpoint of equity markets, it is a question of which sector you're in, and some of the sectors are doing better than others. But into this earnings season, earnings aren't expected to be that high, and yet we're already seeing the rally into earnings. And so I don't think from a political perspective there's that much concern right now. I think if we get an election that is so close, which it will be, and is contentious, then we could see some of that come into the markets.
The night after, are we? There's no. This is going to come for ages. Is it? Is this going to be like Florida at the turn of the century?
I don't know, but I think that we're going to see some senatorial races that are going to be very, very close. I think the end result for the presidential election is going to be very, very close. But I think we could see results within the week for the presidential this time. But we're going to just see some of those state Senate races coming in very close because there's an awful lot of attention on where the Senate goes. So right now, basically, it's split. It's more or less split. But we could see seats going over to the Republican side, and that's what we're looking at right now. And that just changes the makeup there, see what happens in the House. And you could have a situation where some of those races get caught up.
And this is the point, sorry, just to finish off on that aspect. This is the point that is being a little bit lost in the broader, certainly the broader narrative this side of Atlantic. Trump or Harris, Trump or Harris. That's less significant than Trump plus a Republican House and Senate, or perhaps more unlikely, Harris plus a Democrat House and Senate as well. It's the combination of the three that's the key, isn't it?
Right, that's right. And then so when we look at policies or sectors or the markets or where we're going to go into any of those combinations, what I look at is what areas actually have some bipartisan support. Well, right now it's a bit sticky because no one wants to really pick a side if they're on either the wrong side of Harris or Trump, depending on what happens there. But there are bipartisan laws that have or will be passed regardless of what happens and how the makeup is. And that's where mostly you're looking at national security, you're looking at critical minerals, you're looking at nuclear policy, you're looking at policies where there will be bipartisan support no matter what happens, and then you'll have no support for almost anything else.